us.
Also heartbreaks. You know, people, you can enter a marriage when you still like your ex.
Marriage is one of the things that exposes the real you.
If I wrote you a symphony just to say how much you mean to me, what would you do if I told you you were beautiful?
Hello everybody, welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Beatrice Chimpi,
Barbara Emiru, Sandra Vangar, Karin Nyine,
and we are
Wise Rising.
Marriage is not a straight line,
but every day we strive to make it straight.
Well, welcome back. It's been a long time. We are so glad that we are here. Hi Babi, how have you been?
I'm great. You're
You're
great.
good, Karin. Very fine, Sandra.
Just lovely.
Thank you for joining us today. And as you've seen the title of the topic, the title of this video, we are still going on with this series of ours of waiting. What you should do while waiting before you find the right person, before you settle in marriage. So as you've seen the video, we are talking about healing. Healing is a very, very important aspect of waiting, because in some cases most of us aim to go to marriage without dealing with our baggages, emotional baggages that we have. Some of us are unaware of those baggages. Some people are aware of them, but they hope that maybe someone will help them to heal.
Yeah.
You know, I'll marry a wife and they'll help me. They'll take the place for my mom. You know, I'll marry my husband and my husband, will fill the void of my father or my brother whom I lost.
Sometimes
It's not like that. Or some people go. Karin, what are some of the things that people normally pass through as we grow up? Things that we pass through that sometimes traumatize us as young people.
Like being an orphan.
Yeah,
there is
you're looking for a parent in a husband.
There's also child abuse.
There's child abuse. Child abuse. So a lot of traumas happen to us.
Also heartbreaks. You know, people, you can enter a marriage when you still like your ex. And you bring in the baggage to this guy.
You never heal
all your baggage into someone's
this other relationship.
So most of the time we have loss. So we have loss. I think it's the commonest. Loss is the commonest. And people who have gone through different kinds of losses, some people know that they are traumatized, but some people are unaware. We have buried traumas. You grow, something happened to you when you're young, and it stays there. But as you're growing up, it keeps developing, and some people it's covered. So when you reach marriage is one of the things that exposes the real you.
The institute of realness.
The institute of realness. Like it exposes you. So I was reading somewhere, they said marriage does not create problems, but marriage reveals problems. So it reveals the true nature of someone. So, and yet as much as some people are blessed to find out these traumas when they are dating these people, some people, I'm going to bring it before we go ahead, but some people feel like once you're dealing with someone who is emotionally traumatized, the world says, some people believe that you should run for your life. Some people believe you can stand with this person to heal. That when you're dealing with someone who is emotionally traumatized or emotionally unstable. You've ever dated, however, I don't know, I've seen around myself people dating, but when someone is emotionally unstable, like someone gets angry in a twinkle of an eye, someone, they how do they call it? They exit relationships all the time. Someone is telling you, I'm going, I'm hurt. They are not happy. They are happy on Monday, on Sunday, they are not happy.
In the morning they are happy and in the night they are not.
So this is one of the signs that someone has emotional baggage.
That they didn't heal.
So what you're saying that as people are waiting, because we are still on the
waiting. Yes.
So as people wait, what is that you can advise to those young ladies out there? I mean, in the process of waiting, what is that? Last time we talked about work, having fun. Now we are in this healing process. And Beatrice is just going to take us through what are some of the things that we can do, some of the things that you can do to help you before you get married. It's not even about work alone, but there are those things, hidden things. So Beatrice, tell us.
One of the things that someone can do if you realize that you're emotionally hurt is to surrender your life to Christ.
Yeah, true.
Is to surrender your life to Christ, to take Jesus as your Lord and personal Savior, and to intentionally work on your heart or on your pain. You can get a friend who you know that you can walk together and tell, Baby, I struggle with anxiety. I struggle with bitterness. I get angry so fast. So please pray with me, walk with me, encourage me. You can find articles, you can find counselors, many counselors. Right now it's an era of therapy. Get therapy. Okay, get therapy. But most people, the most dangerous kind of emotional baggage is the one that you're not aware of.
That is the thing. So actually I was going like, what if I don't know?
Yes.
No one has ever triggered it properly. So how do you get to know that maybe I have this emotional hidden thing and I've not healed?
Self-check.
No, that is not help someone. Let us walk this journey because as Wise Rising, we promise to walk this journey with our viewers, with our people. So let us walk this journey. How do you get to know?
Yeah, one of the ways you can know that you're emotionally unstable is when there's a highlight in your life, a highlight of pain. Like whenever you're talking to your friends, in a week, you have to talk about it. I lost my child. You know when I lost my child. You know when I lost my brother. You know when my mom died. My father died. You know my father was a very big part of my life. If you're dating and someone is sensitive, they have to let them help you walk that journey with you by knowing what was the role of their father in this person's life. Okay?
But then there's also another side B. For example, men. Men might not come out to talk about those issues.
Yeah.
But then someone may be having a baggage from behind. Maybe they lost their mother.
Yeah.
Maybe they grew up with a stepfather. Maybe their father was hard and harsh on them. But they will never commit that they are going into that thing. Yet, like they say, some men do not have love. It's not that they don't have love.
Yeah.
But sometimes because of the background, the baggage that they came into in the relationship. So how do you help such a person that will not even admit, even himself is not even aware that they have that trauma?
So like right now we have two people. There is one who is waiting and not in a relationship.
Yes. Yeah.
You could have friends, you could do self-love, you could surrender, like do things. There's a lot of one of the things people are engaged in right now is called self-love. The second thing people are engaged in, we've already talked about Christ, accepting Christ. God heals. God heals. I remember when I was going through the pain of the loss of my father. My father died in 1996. I got the healing, the sort of healing. Actually, healing is a process.
Yeah, true.
That like half of the healing, I got it in senior 6 back.
Wow, that's a long time.
That's a long time. So through all this time, I was walking around with that pain. And how was it being expressed? Anger.
Sorry.
Anger. Resentment. People would think that isolation.
Yeah.
I would not be in people. I would be the girl you find in dormitory alone, covered. I'm always enjoying to be alone.
So a person out there, you enjoy being alone, you're isolating yourself, kind of self-check.
Yes.
We are working the process.
And these are the visible things that people can see.
Yes.
But the other things that are going on through in this person's life, which other people cannot see. 90% of my day was filled with the thoughts of how different my life would be if my father was around.
Yeah, the what ifs.
The what ifs.
They call what ifs.
Yeah.
My friend, are you noting the what ifs?
So,
what if my dad?
What if my mom was around?
That is another point. We are walking the journey.
Yeah,
yes.
What if my mom was around? What if? And so we've talked about anger. I was an angry person to the extent that when my husband was dating me, bad, bitter. He was like, but for you, when you be happy? And I told him, I'm never happy. This is what I told him. I said, I've never been happy. I'm never happy. And it was true. What I was saying was the truth. I wasn't someone who was happy. I would smile, but I would not be a person who is there chatting, laughing, happy. No. I would just smile because something has happened, but I would not be happy. And this is a person dating you and realizing, but for you, when are you happy? So it means that someone has realized it. So what are some of the signs that were going on in the relationship? One of the signs that was going on, I was someone who was not ready to deal with the relationship. Anything small,
You're ready to back.
I'm ready to move.
Sorry.
So
I wasn't emotionally available. And I couldn't even attach. I love you, but I'm not attached to you. And so that lack of attachment can easily make you, my friend who is outside, to lose relationships, to lose important relationships. First from your friends, your girlfriends, your relatives, and your husband to be. Much as you have the passion, you want to get married, some people can't stand it.
I know. Actually,
Some people
reminded me of someone. Someone made a statement one day. Me, the day I lost my mother, I do not care about anyone's life. Whether you die or not, I do not want to
Because
know.
even I lost mine.
Yeah, I do not want to
That's
know.
what.
Yes, and actually he used to say it a lot of time. If I was able to bury my mother, why not? I can shoot and I can, you know. So that person really explains what you're trying to say.
So imagine I was a girl growing up in church. You know, God is funny. God is not going to deal with things that you're not surrendering
To him.
to Him. He will deal with the poverty. He will take you to school. He will provide for you. But meanwhile, there's a problem that yourself you're not aware of, so you've not surrendered.
Yes, you're right.
You've not surrendered. So one day, I love my godfather. He's called St.1Ep.10, and I dedicate this video to him. So in my senior 6, I don't know how it happened, but I was in the choir because I started serving God when I was in P7. So he was this fatherly figure to most of us. We turned out to be who we are because of this person. He mentored us in church as youths until we grew up to this pass. So we would call him Dad. Would call him Dad, and most people up to now they call him Dad. So one day I broke, like it. I've never cried like that, and I didn't know that I was having deep-seated pain. I cried and shook and cried. That is the day, and he prayed for me. That is the day I realized that, some weight has been.
Sometimes also emotional trauma is triggered, like when somebody mentions that thing that is hurting you.
Yes.
So it triggers it, and then you can know. Oh, so this is a problem I've been having.
Yes.
Something triggers that particular thing that is hurting you, so that.
Actually, one of the things that would trigger me was the fact that they would call that person Dad. I'd be like, he's not my father. Like, Dad. That is the first day of from senior P7 back to senior 6. I'd never called him Dad. Yet other people in the choir were calling him. That is the first time I felt like now. Like the weight was off, I need to heal. He prayed for me. It was a moment. Actually, he would escort us in groups to our homes. So Beatrice Kwatuka, they take the other and they take the other. So this time it was me. And we were with some like 3 people of ours. So he started talking to me. Have you ever seen a young girl shaking and crying? This is pain that you've been carrying around. I was the firstborn. Carrying a lot of pain. Sometimes you don't want to give mommy a lot of pain because she already has a lot of pain.
So
she's dealing with a lot. So I would keep it to myself. But now, like I've told you, 95 of my day, I would be like, what if my dad was here? So that, now why we've said that healing is a process, that was not the time. It was just the starting of the healing.
You have broken through.
And even right now as I'm talking, I've been married 11 years. I think the healing of my dad, it has just like but then again it was worsened by the death of my mom. So the death of my mom, I struggled with that emotional pain for almost 6 years. That is a video of another time.
I know
how my husband how you deal with a person, with your spouse who has pain.
With
But
a
right
broken
now,
heart, with a bleeding heart,
yes,
actually.
we want to show people
Hidden.
that in the waiting time, go back and close yourself. Ask yourself, what are some of the hurting things?
Yeah.
When I think about this man raping me, how do I feel? Is it hurting me? Do I feel rage?
Yes.
Do I feel like I want to get someone and I stab them? Do I feel like I want to kick? Because every time we would have an argument in dating, I would feel like I want to break. Actually, I would break glasses, anything that can break.
That was total.
And that was too much
Yeah, I thought
anger.
those things are for white people. The ones that break
What
glasses.
she's talking about, it is very true.
Yeah.
People have emotional trauma.
Yeah.
That's true.
And so unlucky for them that in this generation where there's too much self-love, people will not stand you. People will move on to the next person.
Person.
You are not the only person they can date. You are not the only person they can be with. Someone to hold on to, they will hold on to, but till when?
And actually, Beatrice, let me note this thing out. She's a lucky woman. She got married to a pastor, a very anointed man. My friend Munang. Yeah, yours might be different, so you better work on your issues before. Because for her, she's lucky. You'll be like, yeah, Beatrice, I see Beatrice, and she shares, but she's totally a different version, and she's very, very, very lucky. So why we are sharing these stories, we want to help you because you might not find Mr.
You might not find Mr. Like
Who will be
Mr.
patient.
G.
Yes.
But another question has come into my mind. When someone loses someone and then you go for burial, sometimes we tend to cry. Then a person will be like, I'm crying not because of the person who has died, but I'm crying because I'm remembering my mom or my dad.
Yes.
So is that still emotional trauma?
Yes.
And it is there is how it is expressed in that person's life that they are either aware of or they are not aware of. However, I'm so aware of emotional pain and trauma that a person can act, and I know Sandra is dealing with something. Sandra is shouting at me that I'm late for the shoot, not because I can read that this shouting
It
is
is not
pain.
you,
Yeah.
it is
It's
pain.
not. Yes, it's
It's
pain.
not that they're
It is not
avoided.
because I'm late. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yes. And so why we want to look back and reflect and help people know that you need to
heal.
to work on that so that the process, so that your marriage is easier. My marriage wasn't easy at all. The first, I think, 7 years. The first 7 years.
But let's clap
Like
for
people-
Mr. Chief.
people-
You guys, why is rising?
Because that's why a man who is not patient.
Yeah.
I don't see Mr. being patient.
I know, right?
Like these people are
7 years is
selfish.
quite
Yeah,
quite
a
a
long
lot.
time.
Quite a long
Yeah.
time.
It's a long time. So it is not that the whole day from morning up to evening he's experiencing this wife like that. But let me tell you, 90% of his life is experiencing that kind of woman.
You know someone who can handle
Who,
like a broken glass.
yes.
Yeah, that is.
So how did I know in marriage? At first, I would, resentment and that thing of being into me, I carried it. Someone asks you, you keep quiet, you're looking at them, you're far. They are talking to you, but you're very far. I'm talking to you. And in my mind, I'm like, why can't I answer this person? But my mouth cannot open.
Oh, Jesus. Oh.
Why is it? And the moment you shout at this person, you're making things worse.
Imagine.
But there's no way this person can help it but to shout, because like they're also getting angry.
Yeah. So in the process of waiting,
Yeah.
my friend, note these things down. Actually, discover yourself.
Yeah.
Before it is too late.
And
Because the
yeah.
earlier the better.
Unwrap those emotions.
Yes,
Unwrap. Beatrice, you're still
Yes.
adding. And we are
Unwrap those
learning, we are
emotions.
learning.
Right now we are so lucky in Uganda. We have therapists.
Yes,
We have
we have-
counselors.
yes, we have them.
coaches. We have people who can sit with us and listen.
We have pastors.
Sometimes the things that you went through in your life, you can't even share with your husband then. Or the person you're dating with. They are just saying, hey, like, God, like, oh no, what is wrong with this one? You understand? So it's so easy for you to not deal with this emotional trauma, and when you reach in marriage, it gets revealed, and that's the end of your marriage. That's the end of your marriage. There are some people who will be like, She throws glasses. I'm like,
Oh, God, I'll never. Oh, man.
let me first get my bags.
You're right.
And they disappear.
By the way, you're right.
Yes. So it's very important for people to wait, but in the waiting time, because sometimes the waiting time is not that pleasing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
Actually,
very long.
Ain't pleasing because you don't know when it's going to end.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes some people can try, like I've dealt with this, it has failed.
Yeah.
Then they keep going back.
Yeah.
You keep rotating the same mountain,
Yes.
so you can't tell the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
But during that time, we are advising our audience, the young girls, the young boys who are there, unravel those emotional things, unravel them, deal with them. Some people that are around you, they know about that pain.
Yeah.
They know about those things.
Yeah.
Some are secret to you. Someone raped you when you were 7 years and you didn't tell anyone. You didn't tell your mother, you didn't tell your sister, you didn't tell anyone. It's something that you're hiding in yourself. Yes. But
Also,
then
Don't ignore those small, what do they call, the small things that come out. Like, for example, you become rude all of a sudden.
Yes.
Check yourself, do personal check
Yes.
and know why do I act like this all the time.
Yes.
Because
That
you can
is
also like treat yourself like
Yes.
that. You're like, but why am I always acting like this
Yes.
when certain things happen? So you can also do a self-check.
So because there's also this thing I want maybe the audience out there. And there is this thing, people when you meet is you're by out saying that's what I was going to say. They say, wait, you I
Yes.
don't care. Me,
Yeah.
me, I don't.
When he's and I move on.
You talk about that thing, that
Yes.
attitude.
It's bad. Actually, that statement only, you should keep quiet and listen to yourself again, and then know that you have a problem. If you're in a place in your life where you say, nze sebuya, nze bwentyo, nze ndi munyivu nnyo, nyiga nnyo, sate bwe nyiga, si. Newaffe bammanyi.
Nze sisonyiwa.
Sisonyiwa.
Yeah, you hear such statements.
Yes.
So you're advising young people not to actually brag
Our
around.
tongues, our tongues.
Now, how can you go into marriage when you have such an issue?
Such an attitude.
Such an attitude.
Nze sisonyiwa be. Wana olowooza wasa
They
angel.
say, yeah, I don't give a damn.
I wish.
You go.
I wish
That is emotional
the
trauma.
healing that God has given me, because one thing people should know. This one I'm going to talk when I'm looking in the camera.
Yes.
Marriage has its own trouble.
True.
Marriage has its own pain. So my sister, get the baggage of your singlehood and leave it there, and come in marriage when you're ready.
Tell them.
Okay? So that when these things of marriage come, again, you're not mixing issues.
Exactly.
Yes.
You're not
Because-
mixing. You're using the very right one. You're not mixing.
Mixing issues.
Yes,
Because
it is.
marriage has its own
It
issues.
has its own
Then you
issues.
also bring in your issues from the past.
Imagine you have to deal with what your husband is talking about, but again, in your mind, you're still crying about your father. Like you're in a meeting with your husband and you're
Just
talking about an
something, just
issue.
You're talking about an
Yeah.
issue.
I'm talking to you, yes.
And then you start crying. I'm a crying baby.
After you become a crying
When
baby.
will the marriage go ahead?
When?
Okay? When will the issues go ahead?
When?
Like every time people adapt. The husband will just adapt and know that.
Why this one crying?
Yeah, this one. Onotagambwako.
And when I tell you you're going to cry, so that's why I'm
So
keeping
that's why
quiet.
I'm keeping
Like even
quiet.
when you're crying about something, you'll be like, oh yeah, kaka.
By the way.
I like boy.
Yeah. It's like when you know your child that my child is a crying baby.
Yes.
Even sometimes it can be something serious, but then you concentrate on what you're doing. You're like, I know.
Yet you're crying this time round. It
It
is
is very serious.
But because you know that your baby overcries over something, sometimes you try to ignore. So
Yes.
it's a something that
So
happens in marriage.
the emotional trauma, which is what you talked about, it is very, 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 very key. Actually, it is touching me.
And also men have emotional pain. Men have emotional
We are
hurt.
all human.
Another thing I want us to highlight very well. I was reading somewhere, and it is so true. The attitude which we go in marriage with. This was my attitude. I'm looking for a man who is going to love me like my father did.
Your
That
father
when
was
that
your
when
father,
that man
was
comes,
your
You're
husband.
not
all
a
this
princess,
pain.
your father lied to you.
That's another topic. That pain, you feel like when I find that man, I know this pain will go away. It will not.
It will not.
No,
That
it will not go because
Not
first
because
of
that
all,
person is not even your father.
he's not your father.
Yeah.
No, this one is your father. And it's the end of
They were hurt. They're like, when I marry my wife will be my everything.
Mama, we are
That
not
clingy
perfect
one.
too.
Yeah, she will help me. Not, you get disappointed. Like those 7 years of my life, I was like, wow.
Whoa.
So that is the time I started. Do you know where the check came from?
No.
Me healing of my father's death. Actually, it is my mother's death that had to come. Then I'm like, oh, when will this end? My father's pain has taken me this long. Now when I add this one, this was the check. One of my spiritual dads, I was crying and thinking that he's going to you know, how do they call
Hold
it?
you.
To sympathize with me and be like, oh, sorry, Beatrice, he was coming from abroad. And was like, Beatrice, I've had all your pain, but you know, there are so many people who are depending on you here. You have 4 children, you have a husband, you have many people. You're not going to cry forever. Do you know, from your dad, your spiritual father, it's like, oh God, yes.
That was really awakening.
And because it was coming from someone I trust, I thought about it for a long time. In pain, of course, it was positive criticism. In pain, but it helped me. Step by step, I started seeking for healing, first from God. First from God. The things I've gone through in marriage or in my life, when someone sees me happy, by the way, me, I used not to be happy, and I would not pretend about it. I would not pretend that I'm happy when I'm not. But this time when you see Beatrice happy, I'm really happy. I'm really happy. When you see my photo smiling, I do not know how to fake a photo because I've healed from all that pain. When you learn how to heal during that waiting time, it's going to help to soothe your marriage, because even as things come in, this one, you're going to get over them very fast because you know how to get over pain. First, surrender to Christ. Tell Jesus, I'm hurting. I'm hurting. Like, you know, people have lost their children and they have run mad and they cannot continue. Okay? So right now we are talking about these people. We are showing them what it can cost you if you don't work on your emotional trauma.
Yes.
If you don't heal. It can cost you your marriage. It can cost
Just
you
even your entire life.
Yes.
Because you lose the happiness.
Yes. So, and in another video we shall talk about the emotional trauma in marriage, how to deal, because that also happened for me, that I had to heal. One hint is your partner may never help you to heal.
That is the truth.
That is the truth. They have a lot of things to do for you to think that when you see in the movie, it is true, he will be there for like 1 hour, 2 hours, you lean, and be like, honey, no, your client, I'm Peter.
Hey, I tell you need the money.
So if you need the money, the home needs the money. So if you stay on that, now where has he gone? When I'm still hurting, when I'm still crying, doesn't he that I'm...
Children of God.
So it is very important for people to heal before they get
into
yes.
marriage.
We are not saying that you may totally achieve your healing, but at least some people who your partner should find you when you're on your way.
Yeah, work on it.
You're working on it. As you're entering into a new relationship, you're waiting, but when this person comes, sometimes when you're in your journey of healing, you can share with them, by the way, be open. I went through such and such a thing, but you know, God is healing me.
Wow.
How do you know that you're in a process of healing when you're not dependent on other people for your happiness? Yeah.
What if I open up to this person? For example, I'm single.
And you're
I open
dating.
up to this person, I tell him, I was raped when I was young, what, and then we break up. That means somebody has my secret.
For sure.
No, actually, what I can say, there are some things that you share
Yeah.
when you're dating.
Yes.
And there are some things that you can decide to keep yourself. And there are some things that you share when you're like, yes,
We are there.
Brian, I can trust Brian
Yes,
with this thing.
with this.
It's not like on day 1 or day 2 that you tell him all your history.
Yes.
You haven't yet known this person. Let it even be 3 months or 4 months.
Yeah.
But it depends on the kind of relationship that you
Yeah,
have with this
built.
person. Even it can be your ex and he might not marry you off, but he will keep you secret. He will treasure you still.
Yeah.
That you opened up to him. But don't just open up far to
Yeah.
someone that you just met.
Yes. So, ladies, that is it.
Wow.
But you
Wow.
About
Interesting.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So Beatrice, today you've just walked us through this journey, and I'm even shivering.
I know it ain't easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So it is very important to discover yourself. Before anyone, discover yourself. Find yourself.
nobody knows you
Open the
better than
pages.
you.
Yes, because it's only you who can explain Karine well. So discover yourself. Beatrice has mentioned something that is very, very key. At least start on the journey. Start on the journey. People will find you. Of course, you'll find friends. You'll find pastors. But even the pastor will cancel you, then you go back and cry. So it is better you start on your journey. Surrender.
Yeah,
Surrender.
surrender.
I don't know what Sandra you say like.
Yeah, actually surrendering it to Christ I think would be the best option because it's only Jesus Christ that can help you heal. Like Karina said, you can share it with the pastor, you can share it with the counselor, you can share it with the mentor. But then when you go back to your home, when you go back to your bed, you're seated and then the reflection comes back. You're still thinking about it. But when you have Jesus with you, you'll be encouraged. You know, the Holy Spirit will try to help you heal slowly as you're speaking to the pastor, but you're also trusting the Holy Spirit to help you walk into that journey. I think that is the best option. Like,
Yeah.
Wow, Beatrice, not Beatrice,
Babs.
Beatrice has shared, she has been our teacher, you learn from her from there. So what, I mean, something,
Well,
lesson learned, what
For me,
advice,
for me, as I've said,
especially in the waiting period?
yes, discover yourself. Check out those things that trigger you and find out why is this thing triggering me. Why is it that when somebody tells me I'm ugly, I act like this? Why is it that when somebody tells me they don't like me, I act like this? Why am I suffering with rejection? And seek help.
Yeah.
Seek help. Talk to people. People are here to help you. Counselors, therapy. Therapy is common these days. It's not like they're going to expose your secrets or what. Invest in therapy. Therapy is good. Yeah. So discover yourself. Go check yourself to get that alone time. And
for
then
those triggers, and then you
yes.
have to check out yourself.
Wow, thank you, Barbara. Beatrice, I know you've been our facilitator for today. Wives, great, God for Beatrice. She has been our facilitator. Just wrap up for our viewers, those young girls who are really, just wrap something for them.
Yeah. Behind all the makeup, behind all the happiness, there is a young girl who is traumatized inside you, or there is a young boy inside you who is traumatized. Like Babi has said, find out those signs of trauma. If you think you don't have them, that's good. But if you think you're also not sure, ask your friend. Your mother knows, your sister knows, your brother knows, the person you're dating knows. People around you, they know. You ask them, what are the most weird ways that I act? And you feel like she's not in the right mood. So when you realize those signs, then start asking yourself why. Like Babi has said, why do they come?
Why is my friend saying go nyiga
Yes. Don't give excuses. For me, when I was in the waiting time, many people used to say all those things, but I thought they were normal about me. Yet they were not. So after getting married, that is when they became so worse that it took God, it took the grace of God to sustain me there. But for you, it may not be the same case. So you need to try as much as possible and work on yourself and find healing, find therapy. Yes. So that your happiness comes from within. It's not just something that is outside.
Even so that you don't be a burden to your partner with all your baggage, and then you're taking the baggage to him.
Yeah.
Wow, that was from us, Wise Rising, and we are saying
Bye.
See you next time. Don't forget to
you.
subscribe,
Yes.
like our channel, and share it with other people as well. Involve a friend to tell a friend.
Woman that can take your spotlight. If I wrote you a symphony, just to say how much you mean to me, what would you do if I told you you were beautiful?